Tuesday, June 27th, 2017, here on the Patriots Beat Podcast. On this episode, we break down what exactly David Harris's job is going to be on this Patriots defense, as well as give you guys a network update on what you're going to see from the Patriots Beat Podcast for the next couple of months. All that and more on this episode of the Patriots Beat Podcast.
This is Larry H. Russell speaking on behalf of the network, thanking you once again for downloading the Patriots Beat Podcast here on CLNS Radio, the leading online provider of audio-video coverage for New England professional sports. Download the free CLNS Radio mobile app for your iPhone or Android for immediate and convenient access to all the content available on the CLNS Radio YouTube channel, podcasting network, and clnsradio.com. Now, on to another edition of Patriots Beat. Take it away, Harris.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Patriots Beat Podcast. I am your host, Harris Rubenstein. Very happy to be with you on this fine Monday afternoon recording for a Tuesday. We actually have news to talk about on this episode of the Patriots Beat Podcast. Remember to go find us on Twitter at Patriots Beat. You can find me on Twitter at SportsScene. You can find us on Twitter at CLNS Media. So without further ado, now look, I am not one to brag. Okay, that's not true. I might be a little bit of a little bit cocky when I do get things right, but I've been banging the drum for about the Patriots needing another linebacker all offseason long. I'm pretty sure I have said it almost every single episode so far this summer and the offseason since the NFL draft. They need a linebacker next to Donta Hightower. They need a linebacker next to Donta Hightower. They need a linebacker next to Donta Hightower. And, they signed Harvey Lange, and then there's reports that Shea McClellan might be getting the spot. And I'm just over here like, what? Like, you're going to put an undrafted free agent out of BYU who's playing linebacker for 3 years and start him next to one of the best linebackers in football? You're going to take Shea McClellan, who I don't care what the numbers say. Like, the eye test tells me that he's just bad. Not just bad, just like he doesn't do anything great. So, or they're going to put, Kyle Van Noy there, who's really just a rotational guy. It's just like, all this stuff was so confusing. And then finally, the New England Patriots have signed they signed a second linebacker, and how sweet of a linebacker they signed. They signed former Jets defensive captain David Harris, the longtime middle linebacker for the New York Jets, is now a New England Patriot. I am very excited about this. I think that if you were to target what the perfect kind of linebacker would be for the Patriots, you would have to look at someone like David Harris, a pure middle linebacker who's not, he's okay in the cover game. He's not a great blitzer, but he plays middle linebacker, like someone who's going to absorb a lot of tackles, who's going to be able to help in the run game, who's going to be able to control the middle zone of the field on the defensive side of the ball on passing downs. A two-down linebacker that you can switch in and out with the other guys in the rotation, but a guy who is going to start on defense next to Donta Hightower, and they got that guy. I know tackles are a very overrated number in football, and I totally agree, but just like how if you're a major league roster, you need pitchers who take up innings. Like a Mark Burley. Mark Burley was the captain of the inning eater. He would go out there every single season and get 200 innings. He wouldn't post great numbers. He wasn't one of the best pitchers in baseball, but he went out there every single season and put close to 200 innings every single year. David Harris is Mark Burley. You want Mark Burley as your number 4 or 3 guy in your rotation. That's fine. David Harris is going to eat up tackles. He has had, as a 29 and 30-year-old, has had 200 plus tackles in the past 2 seasons of football. That's great. This Patriots team needs tackles. Like, it's such a weird thing to say, but last year, we'll go through the Patriots leading tacklers from last year, because it shows you the people they have on the roster right now, especially on defense, are what I would call tackle-heavy people. They had Gerard Mayo, who for the longest time would get so many tackles on the year whenever he was healthy. So all of a sudden you lose someone, for instance, you lose someone like Logan Ryan. Logan Ryan last year was easily one of the defensive leaders, and he was the leader of tackles on this defense with 92 combined tackles, either solo or assisted tackles. 92 tackles. That guy is now off the team. So you all of a sudden have a big gap in this defense with someone who's just going to fill up the stat sheet with tackles and forced fumbles and recoveries. Like, they needed someone to absorb that, I guess, that placement or all the juice of the defense that's going to be gone. And David Harris is the perfect signing for them. They're not going to ask him to do anything that he can't do at the age of 31. This does so much for the defense. Here, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to take one quick break. When we come back, we're going to break down how exactly the Patriots defense is going to alter now that David Harris is on it, because this opens up so many opportunities for other guys on the defense. So we'll take one quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back.
CLNS Radio's leading online coverage of the Boston Celtics is now even more comprehensive than ever. From the Celtics postgame show to the Guard Report to CSL and to Celtics Beat, CLNS Radio's Boston Celtics newsfeed provides narrated breaking news, game recaps, and news and notes for the NBA's winningest franchise, all provided in real time. Don't have the time to surf the web or search engines and plunge your head into your computer or smartphone to read up on all the latest on the Celtics? No problem. Multitask while listening to CLNS's Celtics newsfeed. And for the 2016-17 NBA campaign, the Boston Celtics pregame report with myself, Larry H. Russell, will be released on the newsfeed on game days at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, making it the first pregame report to air anywhere. We will give you a featured interview from someone providing opposing insight, pregame notes, and go on a Celtics draft pick watch, all in just 12 minutes or less. Available on the Boston Celtics newsfeed on iTunes and Stitcher, and the CLNS Radio mobile podcast app.
All right, team, welcome back. Let's now break down what exactly David Harris does for the other players on this defense. The players that they currently have, what David Harris is going to be doing, it's pretty obvious, like I already said. He's going to be soaking up tackles, soaking up statistics, covering the middle of the field. Very simple stuff. They're not going to ask him to do too much, but what the rest of the defense is going to allow them to do opens up a lot of different things for them. So starting at the defense, at the front seven, what this allows the defense to do is use Donta Hightower in the way that he wants to be used. Donta Hightower the past couple of years has been used more as Jamie Collins than Jamie Collins was. Now this kind of sounds a little strange, but what I mean by that is Donta Hightower is one of the best pass rushing linebackers in all of football. He looks like a defensive end. I mean, the guy's absolutely huge. He's incredibly versatile. He's incredibly quick. I mean, he made the sack on Matt Ryan that basically helped win them the Super Bowl. So David Harris being a guy who can sit in the middle of the field and do what Donta Hightower usually does opens up a Hightower to rush the passer more and allow them to execute this bare front defense that they've been doing. So what a bare front defense is that you have 3 down linemen and 2 guys, one that's going to blitz and one guy that's going to follow it. So you basically have like a 5-2-4, if that makes sense. So your 5 in the box will be, let's give an example. Let's say you have Rob Ninkovich, Trey Flowers, Malcolm Brown, Alan Branch, Donta Hightower. Then you have Patrick Chung and David Harris in the middle. Patrick Chung playing one of the safety spots, but playing combo linebacker. Then the secondary would be Malcolm Butler, Stephon Gilmore, Devin McCourty, and Zeron Harmon. So that bear front that you all of a sudden have is incredibly versatile. I believe it was SB Nation and Pat's Pulpit who kind of laid it out in a little bit more Microsoft Excel kind of way. I think it was actually Rich Hill who did that. So this opens up so many options, and they experimented a lot with the bear front last year and actually ended up becoming one of their base defenses for the rest of the year. It works much better with the people they have on the roster now. When you draft Dietrich Wise and you draft Derek Rivers, they are the same size as what you're looking for those kind of positions. There's a reason why they brought Lawrence Guy onto this team. Lawrence Guy is the perfect bear front down lineman. He can come in and rotate with Trey Flowers or Malcolm Brown and still give you that same pass rush efficiency that you get out of the other two. So David Harris comes in and basically puts an anchor in the middle of the defense. Boom. Let everyone else go do their thing. I got the middle of the field. I can cover. I will tackle. I can be in on rundowns. If you need me in on passing downs, I can be there too. I highly doubt that he's going to be in on many passing downs. I think that your passing down back or linebacker is going to end up being either Kyle Van Noy or Shane McClellan. They're going to be able to do a lot of different combo coverage with their linebacker now. Their linebacking core is quite deep with the addition of David Harris. And I think it actually puts the defense over the edge of what they were going, of what the defense was going to perform this year. I really think that the addition of David Harris, one, easily makes this the best defense in the AFC East. I don't think that's a question. I think they're easily the best defense in the AFC East. Does this make them the best defense in the entire AFC? That's a little bit different. It's a little bit different because it's hard to judge them against teams like the Broncos, who have been amazing for such a long time. So it's a little bit different for to judge if they're going to be the best defense. If they're going to be the best defense in the AFC. However, they will definitely be the best defense in the AFC East. I don't think there's even a question anymore. You add a guy of David Harris's caliber, and just, it's going to make the defense just so much better. They got there is no other hole on this entire team anymore. There isn't. Like, you can go through every position and be like, oh, do they need a backup? No. Like, they have every single position has a guy, a starter, and then at least one backup that could easily replace him, and you would lose a little bit, but you honestly wouldn't lose that much. I think it's very impressive, the pure depth that this team has. But don't be surprised if BB makes a trade down the stretch here. But we're going to take one more break. When we come back, we're going to discuss what the future of the Patriots Beat podcast is, as well as updates from around the CLNS Media Network. We'll be right back.
CLNS Radio's leading online coverage of the Boston Celtics is now even more comprehensive than ever. From the Celtics postgame show to the Guard Report to CSL and to Celtics Beat, CLNS Radio's Boston Celtics newsfeed provides narrated breaking news, game recaps, and news and notes for the NBA's winningest franchise, all provided in real time. Don't have the time to surf the web or search engines and plunge your head into your computer or smartphone to read up on all the latest on the Celtics? No problem. Multitask while listening to CLNS's Celtics newsfeed. And for the 2016-17 NBA campaign, the Boston Celtics pregame report with myself, Larry H. Russell, will be released on the newsfeed on game days at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, making it the first pregame report to air anywhere. We will give you a featured interview from someone providing opposing insight, pregame notes, and go on a Celtics draft pick watch, all in just 12 minutes or less. Available on the Boston Celtics newsfeed on iTunes and Stitcher, and the CLNS Radio mobile podcast app.
All right, team. So one more thing before we get going. A quick episode for you guys this week. But one thing that is going to change over the next couple of weeks, I'm actually going to be taking another leave for the next couple of weeks while CLNS Radio now becomes CLNS Media Network. So we are going to be doing a huge network upheaval to switch over from CLNS Media, CLNS Radio to CLNS Media. And during that time, Michael Longi is going to host the new Patriots beat for the next 3 weeks. And then the end of July, once training camp is about to start, your boy will be back and better than ever, back to give you the real talk of the Patriots. So I will be back at the end of July to start with training camp. Don't worry, we have a lot to talk about once training camp comes around. This is probably going to be one of the most fun training camps that the Patriots have ever had. I cannot be more excited for this. But for now, that's going to do it for the Patriots Beat podcast. Please remember to give us a rating review on iTunes and Stitcher. You can find me on Twitter at Sportstein. That's SPORTSTEIN, Sportstein. You can find us on Twitter at CLNS Media, and you can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/CLNS fans. I will not see you guys next week or the week after that. So enjoy the month of July, and I will see you guys right before training camp starts. Enjoy Michael Longi, and have a great week.